welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I am your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on Wednesday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you find podcasts. The official weapon of the show is...
Phone Jeff.
And the unofficial sport,
Bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme.
I think about that every time, y'all, because if I don't think about it, I go on autopilot.
That's why I change up the cadence.
Thank you.
No problem. Where to start? I guess listen, show notes is how you leave contact info. Like that's all the contact info. That's how you do the feedback. Don't forget, leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. I'll tell you this much. I mailed out everybody's cards that asked for cards today. Okay. It's literally, I think maybe 4 cards even left, period. Me and Karen packed them things up last night, stamped them. Some of y'all niggas is international. We took care of y'all anyway. So y'all gonna get y'all's. But I know this much. If you ain't left no 5-star review yet, and you I done mailed you, I done hand stuffed you an envelope. Man, I better never run it to you in person. I know that much. You better get in there.
It might be on site. You know who you is.
Find a way, okay? Right? Oh, I don't use
your baby's phone.
I don't use Apple. Find a way to leave me a 5-star review.
Find a way. Make an account.
Go to the website. I don't care. You need to do that, okay? Anyway, Merry Christmas, nigga.
Right?
But yeah, we are live, and of course, we've been starting the show recently with banter. If we have any. Do you have any banter today?
I have one.
All right, well then it looks like we're doing banter. Let me play some new music DJ Jaffa sent us. Some smooth, sexy banter today.
Right.
Wait, no, Janet Jackson to start singing.
Yeah.
All right, Karen, banter me.
This banter is really, really simple. One thing that I really do love about working from home is that I keep my my bonnet on all damn day. What's the point of taking it off? Who is you trying to impress?
Yeah, listen, bonnets and no bras. That's
Child,
what's going on.
Who trying to wear a bra? I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, so I don't blame you. I like that the comfort of working from home too. You work around, no pants. Just no underwear. It's beautiful. I love it. It's the little things, honestly. For me, I got 2 quick things. The first one is I was listening to Kind of Funny Games Daily podcast about video games, and they brought up how Insomniac got hacked and a bunch of information got leaked about Insomniac and all of their upcoming plans and stuff. And they were debating on how do you cover it? Like, do you because you aid the hackers when you talk about the specific stuff in the leaks, but then you kind of don't want to do it. Plus, people's privacy was violated, like people's HR stuff and names and passwords. Like, these hackers are, they're notorious,
Right.
But
you don't want to leave the public uninformed about the shit that they do.
So you can bring up that they did it, but maybe you don't want to spoil all the stuff, the secrets they have about games that, should I tell you this is what they're thinking about doing with this game and stuff. So anyway,
I feel you.
But what it reminded me of is, and it's crazy that this happened, I want to say during the run of our show, but maybe it happened before that, but it just wasn't that long ago. Do you remember the Fappening? Okay. So you'll remember when I describe it, the Fappening was a thing where a bunch of celebrities' cell phones and stuff.
Oh, from their clouds got hacked. Yeah, that was fucked up, dog. Like, that's their private information that they did not expect to be leaked out to the public.
It was 2014. And I still remember, and I wonder if we've come a long way, right? Because now we're all super digital. We're all with the phones.
Yes.
We're all online all the time. We all are texting and sending pictures to each other. We're all in the cloud.
Yes.
But at the time, I don't know if you remember, but everyone was blaming the celebrities. Like, why do you even have pictures on your phone that could be hacked? Why can you And I'm like, man, things have changed so much and so fast. There was a thread on Twitter. This is all kind of the same, but there was a thread on Twitter that was about robes, and it was just women posting pictures of women and men. It was everybody, but people posting pictures in a robe, and most of them were like sexy pictures and stuff. But I just was thinking to myself, like, so people had pictures of themselves or went and took pictures of themselves sitting around chilling, being sexy in their robes. The Fappening, like, we all are doing this. We all have pictures. We all have shit.
Right.
It was weird at the time looking back. It was so weird how many people just jumped into celebrity shit.
Yeah, my heart went out to them. And also it's one of those things too. But most people don't think that they are important enough or special enough for their shit to get hacked. So they have a tendency to want to quote unquote judge celebrities when most people are doing it. Most people have received and or sent pics of their body parts. Like, some have not. Some go, I'm not doing that shit. But a lot of people have. They've sent it somewhere. Somebody has you saved on their phone somewhere, an intimate picture of you somewhere. And the thing is, most people are not famous enough, and most people don't give a fuck about the people to actually want to hunt or search or find it. But it is out there. So it's funny how people shame these people, particularly women now. Particularly women. And the only time they shame men is when your dick is small. Other than that, let your dick be big and it's, oh my gosh, yeah. So, everybody is an animal when it comes to this.
I remember people kind of clowning Colin Farrell a little bit about like the quality of his sex tape or something, but I just remember how fucking dumb everyone sounded to me. And now I wonder if that happened today, with how many hackers and leaks and stuff has happened, if people would be a lot more understanding and be like, oh no, that could have happened to anybody. Yeah. That's not a like, you're stupid. That's a therefore the grace of God go I type situation.
Yeah, but the thing is, most people aren't that critical thinking when it comes to shit like that. And
I understand, but I'm saying time has changed.
Yes.
I'm not saying these people like evolved on that. Like now I would think deeper. I just think enough time has gone by where I feel like society has changed, and I wonder if the first reaction wouldn't be like this. Well, that's what you get for having news. I feel like 2014, a lot of people were just getting cell phones.
Right.
People weren't even taking pictures with theirs. 2014, people are like, "What? That's so crazy and weird." Now everybody's fucking Googling hentai on their lunch break. Like, I think it's different now. I wonder if it's different. I don't know.
Right. And I wonder if it's different too, but also human beings being human beings and human beings loving to judge other people for shit, even though they know they're doing it too.
But not even that long ago, like when Jill Scott got hacked, the reaction was totally different. It's a lot more sympathetic, even if it was just like, damn, she looked good. It was less like, what the fuck you doing with them pictures? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'll never know. And yeah, if you, yeah, we don't know until it happened again. But
right.
I wonder if this time.
I hope so. I hope people have some form of compassion. But I think it's what they call it, a cognitive dissonance, like that.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yes, and a lot of people separate themselves. Like
yeah. You're not wrong. I'm not saying you're
really
wrong.
Fucked up because things happen, and maybe because I'm more empathetic, I'm like, hey, dog, like, this is fucked up. Like, am I the only one who think this shit is fucked up? And we're not, and the same way I feel about this is the same way I feel about older people when they judge this generation on several different things. I'm like, there is no difference. We are not special. We just didn't have fucking cell phones.
I think it's the empathy gap, I think, is growing smaller, but only not because people's empathy is growing, but because now they see it could happen to them.
Right.
So that's why I wonder that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the big deal for a lot of people in 2014 is this could never happen to me. Now I think in 2023, everyone's like, this could happen to me too.
Right.
But that's just a guess, The other thing I was thinking about, damn, this reminded me of something else and I can't fucking put my finger on it. Anyway, but the other thing I had for my banter was it's weird that everyone watching the Jonathan Majors trial outcome has decided. Oh, I know what my other thing was. We'll come back to this. Speaking of society changing, the stuff with Draymond Green and how they want him to get like therapy That is a societal change. That is not a
that-
reaction that they would have had even 4 years ago.
No,
but now that everyone went through the pandemic and did talk therapy and shit, and it's been really promoted and it's in every ad for every podcast and all this stuff, it's been normalized to a point that something that people would have been like, this is aberrant behavior and this person needs to be punished. They are not saying that about Draymond Green, who is probably the worst offender in the NBA right now.
Correct.
Of hitting people. And it's not necessarily something, I'm not 100% sure that it's, so I'm caught in between because I'm not 100% sure that it's coming from a place of like, we all understand the power of therapy, or we like Draymond Green to a certain extent and we don't want to like be mad at him beyond, like, for example, in the NFL, there are several players. Myles Garrett is one. There's a guy for the Steelers that just got suspended for the rest of the season because he can't stop fucking dirty hitting people. He did it 3 times this year in 3 different months, got warned, and ended up fucking like getting suspended for the rest of the season. I have watched NFL programs. I have watched the same sports commentators that talk about Draymond Green. No one's talking about counseling and therapy for him. Everyone's just like, learn to be a fucking professional and follow the rules. And the people who say that about Draymond Green are getting pushback. Shaq got pushback. Ryan Clark got, they acted like Ryan Clark was saying no one should get therapy except criminals or something. But I kind of understood Ryan Clark's point. I just don't know that him and Shaq articulated it well. But it's this idea of like, there's a certain type of empathy and sympathy that goes with telling someone to get therapy and get help, as opposed to being like, stop fucking hitting people. If you say stop fucking hitting people, it normally comes from an angry place. And it's just like, I don't give a fuck what's wrong with you. You have a job. You get paid to do the job. Part of your job isn't hitting people. And that's it, And so I'm now that I'm talking to you about it, maybe it's not a societal shift for Draymond. Maybe people like Draymond because he's a media personality who has his own podcast, who's ingratiated himself with basketball media. And maybe people don't want to be like they normally are and be like, motherfucker, just stop hitting people.
It's complex because it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Okay. Like it can be both. But at the same time, I can say, you need help and stop the bullshit. I don't know why people act like you can't say both. I can say, be a professional, go get help. What's wrong with having empathy and understanding for your plight and your situation, but at the same time saying shit got to change, or else it's going to be some form of accountability for your actions, and this is not an excuse.
Right. Let me ask you this though: why do you think it doesn't extend to other people outside of Draymond Green? Like, why do you think like the NFL players I named? We not like, is it just because of different sport? Like, what do you think?
This is just me. I think, from my personal opinion, I think that football has always been cutthroat, period. From the way their contracts is designed, everything about football has been cutthroat, shield first. Like the structure of football and the way it's presented is very, very different. Basketball has changed over the years because there used to be a lot of fights and they slowly kind of got that out. Basketball is now a more gentler sport. You have people in the NBA, we know their faces, we know what they look like. They are brands, they are ambassadors, they're on commercials, they sell shoes. Unless you're like a superstar in football, you have a fucking helmet on. Most people don't even know you nor your name. And so I think the structure of basketball is very, very different, in my opinion, than the structure of football. And I think also with basketball, even the commissioner has more compassion when he said, hey, the pandemic, like he talks about these things. They push mental health a lot heavier in the NBA than they do in the NFL. Not that it doesn't exist, not that there are not people over there that are pushing it. But if they push mental health a lot harder in football, they would take concussions more seriously. Like it would be a lot of things that they would take more seriously if if this was something that was kind of built in the structure. Y'all think the structure, the foundation of how football is more of a shake it off, get over it, come back as soon as possible. You're always replaceable. The structure of it is completely different.
I think that is lessening. That culture is lessening in football. It used to be more of that than it is now. But even in that, let's take football out of it for a second. Then forget those guys. I even look at stuff at like how people treat Zion Williamson. Like they assume he has some type of help some problem where he cannot maintain get like a healthy weight to play basketball, right? They don't talk to him like you need some help. You need to get some therapy. You need to talk to somebody. You need help for your eating disorder or something. They just yell at him like, fuck you, you fat piece of shit. Wow, I saw a belly. You eat the whole buffet. I don't know. There's something about Draymond's treatment that does rub me like as odd. And it's not rubbing me as odd in the y'all are being terrible. Why won't y'all just be mean to him? It's rubbing me odd in like, why are y'all nice now, but you can't be nice other times? Because like Ben Simmons needed help there mentally.
Yes, he did.
No one wanted to have that fucking discussion. It was like, bitch, shoot the ball or quit fucking playing basketball. Zion Williamson he went through a lot this offseason, just with his personal life. But also, like, if you believe that his weight isn't where it needs to be, and it's been 3 years and there's millions of dollars at stake, he might have an issue that is beyond just you yell at him, stop being fat. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's something like I said, Ryan Clark and Shaq are not the people to articulate this, because then they say shit like, well, he's not a criminal, so why would he need therapy? And I'm not saying that. But I am saying the therapy angle for Draymond feels very like, we like you in a way that we would not for other people.
And to an extent, I agree. I think Draymond is a veteran. Draymond has been in the league for a long time. A lot of people across respects him. And I hate to be like this. A lot of people, they just don't respect Zion. Mm-hmm. And because when they don't respect you, all of a sudden your problems and like in your issues, like Ben Simmons, they didn't respect him.
I feel like the respect comes from the fact that Draymond does so much media. That's the thing for me, is like, because Draymond will sit up there on that day on that desk with Shaq and Charles and them after the Warriors are eliminated from the playoffs or something. He'll do that. He does his own podcast. He's always on the new media. There's something about I feel like they're being softer on him, not from a good place of, we learned empathy in therapy. I feel like they're being soft on him because it's almost like a peer to them. Like, well, we're not going to yell at you, Draymond. We like you. Zion Williamson, you a piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Correct. And also it's one of the things too, to where for me, like I said, since we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. For me, the thing that tripped me out about the Draymond situation is this: nobody else is doing this but him. And I don't not know why people act like they brawling like they used to do years ago when I watched the NBA. They don't. They do not brawl like this. He's an outlier. Yeah. And why does everybody, even including him, act like he's not an outlier and act like they're targeting me when you're the only one?
Yeah, I wasn't
doing
trying to.
This.
I really wanted to specifically talk about just that part of it, because I think, we would, and most people would agree, what he's doing has been egregious and he deserves to be sat down or something. But it's just different listening to this turn into like they're treating him like he was Ja Morant. Like when Ja Morant was downing alcohol, no chasers, straight out the bottle and waving guns, we were like, he does seem like a person that needs some type of help. But if in the context of basketball, when I watched Kobe Bryant elbow 7 people till he broke Manu Ginobili's nose, it wasn't no Kobe need therapy. It was niggas stop elbowing people in the face. Ron Artest. It wasn't like get that brother some help. It was, bruh, you suspended. So it's just been interesting to watch it. I know, I'm mulling it over and just talking with you because it's banter, but I'm not trying to make you have to answer for this. I just this is what I've been thinking about for a couple weeks now.
Right.
And like I said, once again, I'm not saying they should feel differently about Draymond. I'm just wondering why the fuck you can't see this all the time. Everybody playing these games is human. So
correct.
If they fuck up in some way that's, just like not like just human fuck ups, I don't know why we have to start with everyone else getting yelled at, but This guy were like, oh well, come on, man, he just needs some help.
Yeah, and also going back to my point, and I think with him being an outlier and everybody likes him, and I think with his influence, and I think like you said with the podcast and him quote unquote being in new media, it's also one of the things where, not trying to be funny, particularly current players, because he talks about current players and shit like this. These are your coworkers, and so guess what? They got to work with this nigga. So, not trying to be funny, they're only going to say so much and only going to do so much.
Yeah, but you know what? Charles Barkley don't work with them.
No, he don't.
Not really. Shaq don't really work. Like Shaq, when they talk about those motherfuckers, I don't know. Like, I do feel you that I don't expect players to come out and say, I don't expect players to say shit when somebody does. That's like expecting a player to come out and say something about domestic violence. I'm not saying the players would do it, but I mean the media people typically are the ones that go in on these guys, and they're not.
And I can see that, but also I could see to an extent, and it's not always true, being a form of a fraternity too, where they go, well, yeah, we're gonna talk. We only gonna go but so far.
But they violate that all the time with other players. So what's the fraternity for the media? You see what I'm saying? Like they when there's other guys, they really don't seem to mind being like, fuck this guy.
Well then for me, it all just boils down to respect. Y'all, quote unquote, y'all respect this nigga, even though
I think they like him
acting a motherfucking fool, and y'all don't want to tell him stop this bullshit.
I think it's as simple as they like him. I really do. Thinking it through, because I was at first when I started talking about this, I was like, maybe we have changed. Now I'm like, nah, that's probably not it. The other thing too is it is weird to see everyone act like Megan Good was gonna break up with Jonathan Majors when the verdict came in.
Right.
Like they act like she was gonna storm out the courtroom by herself. I don't know. Like if you thought it was egregious for her to be dating him, it seemed like it would be egregious before or after the verdict if you believe that stuff. So I don't know why everybody's. It's funny what a guilty verdict does in our minds. I remember people arguing till they were blue in the fucking face, but all facts to the contrary. No matter how many articles we read on a podcast with detail after detail from woman after woman, people did not want to believe Bill Cosby was guilty until he was found guilty, and it suddenly was like people that normally have been fighting the whole time were like, "Well, he did it," and I'm like, wait, what? So if he would have got off on a technicality, which he eventually did, y'all were gonna ride this out and say he just never did shit.
Yes.
I'm actually seeing it with Jonathan Majors, because what's happening is people are cherry picking, and I do want to give some deference to quote unquote both sides on this. So on the first side, obviously you got people who are like, yo, he got found guilty, the end. And once again, as we talked about this trial on the show, I've been feeling like they may not have been able to prove that he did something to her in that car that night. I don't know that they conclusively proved that from what we saw in the media. Now, we weren't in that courtroom. We aren't that jury.
Right.
They saw way more shit than we did.
They saw a lot more shit.
But I'm just saying, to what was leaked out into the press, what the reputable sites covered, none of that made me feel like he definitively did that shit. Honest to goodness, I don't know, and I'll probably never know. Right. And like it was actually a little frustrating. The driver's in the car. He's like, I never turned around. Motherfucker, if you just would have turned around, we know. He's like, it sounded like she was attacking him. Well, that's not helpful at all. You didn't turn around. You actually don't know shit. Anyway, and he didn't even like speak English, so he needed a translator. So you got that. Her account in that night is I grabbed his phone from him basically because I saw he was cheating on me. Him in an effort to get the phone back and get away from her injured me, and which is why he's convicted of reckless assault and harassment. Which harassment, I saw the definition of it in New York. The first one is you strike somebody. So harassment doesn't mean you call their job and you start following them.
The definition, right.
It doesn't mean that he chased her outside of the car. It means that when he was
in my mind, that's assault, but okay.
Yeah, even if he was like just to get her off of him, if he injured her, that's what he's basically found guilty of. But even with all that, you have the text messages from the September incident. And I'm sorry, I don't see a way to excuse that shit. So basically, I'm watching these dudes on Twitter ignore that and act like everyone's just tripping about that night. Like, oh, y'all ain't see the video of him running? What the fuck is a black man supposed to do? See these white bitches, da 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 da. Which I'm like, calm down with the white bitches thing, because what are you saying? If you dated a black woman, it'd be okay to beat her, or just nobody would care. That's not the flex you think it is. Maybe stop saying that. But essentially, like I said, I feel like, and I said it on the show before the verdict, the shit that happened in September, those text messages are too damning. You're talking about don't go to the hospital for a head injury because you won't protect us. You won't lie. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. No, who the fuck ever needs to text that? For what reason would you need to text that? That didn't, the probability of that not being about you injuring her is just crazy to me. But I do want to give some deference to this other side, because I don't think these people are crazy. And I know some of them, it's easy to assume the worst, but I do see it too. There is a huge double standard, obviously, in that this dude did this and no one's riding with him in Hollywood, despite talent and profit and all this shit. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they should. I actually would like a world where people said, like Justin Roiland for Rick and Morty, bye. We actually can make good stuff without you being here, because we don't need to subject everybody to that bullshit. But there is a fucking double standard in that white dudes that do this shit, white people that do this shit, it don't hit them like this. And like you don't have to look far. There's so many examples. People bring up some examples that I thought were stupid, like Robert Downey Jr. is not a good example, but I think Ezra Miller is a perfect example.
Yes, it is.
They were out here wilding the fuck out on a criminal spree, basically.
And committing crimes the whole time y'all filming.
And Warner Brothers like, I'm gonna stick beside them. Don't worry about that shit. We got you. This person is too good at this role for us to. WB was writing off entire other movies.
Yes, to budget for this versus saying we ain't putting this bullshit out.
But for that shitty The Flash, they were like, nah, we need. And so I think what's happening is people don't want to give up anything in these discussions online. So they're just acting like, if you bring this up, oh, so you just want the power of the white man. You just want to be you want white patriarchy. And I'm like, nah, I think it's totally fair game to say, this isn't saying that this is even allowed by anyone.
Right.
But it's also weird that they're like, yeah, but the black guy got to go. Well, what about these other people? Jeremy Renner's been accused of shit. No, that's different. What? And essentially when you saw what played out in court for him, and it's not the incident that happened that night, I think, that is the one that makes you go, we got to get him out of here. It seems to be, to me anyway, it would be the September incident that would make me feel like, yeah, man, you a bad look right now. But that ain't really what it seemed like people care about. It seemed like they're like, you were found guilty. Really doesn't matter how and what happened in that car or whatever. It's just a bad look. You were found guilty. And that there's something icky and double standard there about that, without joining into the Hotep hive of a black man is a victim and of a lynching shit. I'm not joining into that. I don't think he's Emmett Till. I don't think this is a thing you should just overlook. But I do see when it is overlooked, it's always overlooked for white people.
I agree. And a prime and a messy ass example, because I've been around long enough, is motherfucking Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp has been fucking up for decades prior to that trial. Yeah. Stories, he would come drunk, he would know the lines, he would be belligerent, he would fucking fight people. All this shit was happening, and it wasn't like it nobody knew. They were fucking covering it.
Yeah. No, you could go on a long time with a lot of people. So like I said, I've just been, I haven't participated in these discussions because I have understood there is merit to both sides of this, which is, at least those are the 3 points I would say. One, the way the trial unfolded was weird, but I still do think he's a person, like, if the text messages are enough for me to be like, yeah, I can't see it, dog. Like, just for me, that's enough. Might not be enough for everybody, but to me, that's fucking, that's pretty reprehensible. Two, this if he was with a black woman, shit is whack as fuck, and everyone should stop making that point. It's not the compliment you think it is. It is literally saying either a black woman would let you do some shit like this to them and just wouldn't do shit, or B, nobody would give a fuck, so it's okay. Date black women because no one gives a fuck if you abuse them or if they accuse you of abuse. Is a fucking insane take, and it's not pro-black at all. And please stop saying that shit. And then the third one is, of course, there is some merit. There is a double standard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for all those things to exist at the same time to people, but to me, it's easy. And all three of those things are happening.
Agreed. And like I say, you see it all of the time. And, it's one of the things where if there has recently, and it just depends, and it's not for everybody, been kind of sort of a reckoning, with Rick and Morty, with what's that dude they replaced? The dude that had got in trouble for like molesting men, and they ended up
Kevin Spacey.
Yes, yeah, and they was like, we're just gonna replace you in the role and keep it trucking. So it's not a lot, but there's been like some form of, hey, one monkey don't stop no show. Like, you act a fool, we can't, sink the whole fucking ship, and the cast, the crew, production, everything sinks because you fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate it. Like I said, it's just, those are some things I was thinking about. We can get into other stuff in the show.
Okay.
Let me see. What section should we do first? You know what? Let's do a little bit of gender wars.
We're going to war. Gender war. There's a war going on outside. Gender war. There's a war going on outside. Gender war.
All right, this is a quick one. Okay, we probably won't have to spend much time on this.
Okay.
But I just thought this was amazing when I logged in to Twitter this morning.
I thought it was amazing.
It's always great when you see somebody's shit backfire immediately. Because it's like I was thinking it, then I looked at the replies and I saw, oh, everyone's thinking it. Somebody, Dr. Red Pill is, of course, what the misogynist movement for like Gamergate and stuff, they, when it's time to hate women, they say it's time to get red pill, wake up to how much we should hate women.
Oh shit, like the Matrix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is hugely ironic when you think about the Matrix, who made the Matrix, and the belief system of the Matrix. Anyway, so they put up a picture of Pierce Brosnan with his wife back in like when he first became James Bond to like, I don't know, like 10 years later or something, 7 years, whatever it was. And they put your daily reminder to avoid marriage. And I assume we're supposed to look at his wife later in her full thickness and think to ourselves, disgusting, yuck, never get married. If he would have never married her, she would have stayed the size she was in the first picture. Dude, and I don't know how to tell you this, but she looked better in the second picture.
That, and they've done studies for most people that are in a relationship and get married, you have a tendency just to gain a little extra weight. Like, it's a natural thing, and it's okay.
But see, that's just adding to the red pill point that hey, you're gonna gain weight, and so that's why you should never get married. I'm saying she looks fucking great.
She does.
The fuck are you talking about? And I love how many people just own this fucking post of being like, nah. It became like a Pierce Brosnan's wife like appreciation. Like people was posting pictures from like yesterday and shit like, this nigga is winning.
For
Stay
real.
Like it was so funny to see how many people was.
Yeah, them things was thinking, what is you mad? Right. You don't like nice things. That's why we can't have nice things, because people like you.
It does say something about Twitter that this person left it up. You know what I'm saying? Because it means that engagement. Yeah, it means that they would rather have the engagement and they want to get dunked on and they don't care. But yeah, it was so, I loved seeing the love for her and and all great. And the hate for the person originally posting it. It is just so funny, and everybody like, look at it. This didn't know how you playing.
My things would be thinking too. I don't blame her.
I feel you have revealed Mrs. Bond is an absolute smoke show.
This was not the response that you thought was gonna be.
These pics do not have the desired rhetorical impact you imagined. Anybody else realize she's actually banging in both pictures? Just me? Yeah, exactly. She looks great in both pictures.
Right.
Like, oh my God, man. It was so fucking good to watch.
That's hilarious.
This shit backfired. So what would you get as content? 0 out of what, 0 to 10 we were doing or something? What would you get us?
We do 0 to 10, 0 to 5. I would probably give it, you know what? I would probably give it about an 8 or a 9. The reason why is because it accomplished what it was supposed to accomplish, and the thing it was supposed to accomplish was, you know, people going back and forth. Now they did get dunked on. That's why it's not like the highest level. But the whole purpose that I'm guarantee you, out of all them thousands of replies, there was probably a percentage of people that came in there with the same point of view that this person was trying to have.
I give it a 1. And the reason I give it a 1 is because I think the intent was to get people to fight. I don't think this person even understood that everyone was gonna be on the general consensus. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think they left it up because they don't care. They just want, at some point, it's like, I'll keep the engagement even if I look like a fucking fool, because this is gonna go viral, and that's what people's value system is now.
Yes,
but I don't think this was a purposeful, like,
okay,
now
that part I agree
like,
with,
there's no craft here. You lucked into
this
reaction and just left it up. But you didn't. If you would have wanted this reaction, I'd give it more credit. I would give it like an 8 or something. But the fact that this didn't seem like part of the plan, you don't have a backup tweet or nothing. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. Everybody on Twitter was in the Joshua Henderson club yesterday.
Look at the thickums.
Hog, P-A-W-G. Badass white girls.
That was all up in there.
They was all up in the club. All right, let's move on and just talk about some regular news. All right. A hospital staff got baked potato as a Christmas bonus from work.
100 fucking workers. You ain't had the courtesy enough to give me a goddamn pizza party. But fuck a pizza. I'd rather you give me a raise or something. But yeah, 100 fucking with employees.
Now, I know what you're asking. And yes, it was a loaded baked potato. Does that change your mind, Karen?
No.
Because I see some sour cream and some cheese up in there now. They got some salt and pepper on it.
Fucking baked potato. By the time you average that out, you pay 53 cents per employee. Get the fuck out my face.
This is some shit that you like read about in like Scrooge or something. It's, you know.
Yes, Scrooge McDuck by humbug.
Right. Oh my God. And it's hospital workers.
Right. They don't want this shit. They want money, dog. Money.
They decided rather than boost their staff's pay or treat them to a slap-up meal, they would provide them with potatoes. The questionable move was broadcast on social media by a user on Twitter that calls herself Amanda B. She explained dejectedly, "My work is doing a potato bar as our Christmas bonus. I'm literally getting a hospital potato as a bonus." They also said it has a $11.85, a $15. It also has a $15 value, so it will be taxed on our next check.
What?
Oh my! We taxing the.
God damn! Thanks, noob.
Oh my God!
For real?
Oh my God! She said, "Does anyone need an assistant so I could just quit right now?" And we wonder why they quitting at the hospital.
Oh, that's fucked up. And the thing about it is, a lot of companies companies need employees, but they treat their employees like shit. Some of them do. And then they wonder why their turnover rate is high. They can't keep, like, everybody acts fucking confused when it's actually the structure of the company. And a lot of times they don't, places like this don't give a fuck. They don't actually do surveys and shit because, a lot of employees would be like, I don't want no goddamn pizza party. Don't do this extra shit. Like, what I want.
Everybody
is
wants
money.
We don't pay
Yes.
CEOs. We don't pay CEOs in pizza parties.
Yeah, y'all be giving us fucking Mickey Mouse coins and talk about him. You're like, bitch, I can't spend it nowhere but here.
You never seen Bill Gates be like, yeah, I took my bonus in Pizza Hut. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to.
Right. They love that shit.
I bet the CEO of Pizza Hut don't get pizza as bonus.
I bet you don't. They get dollars.
Oh my god.
They get dough. And not the dough from the fucking pizza. They get real dough. Cash, baby.
I just feel like this is a half-baked idea.
You know what? They should have looked at them and said, you want to double stuff this down your throat.
All right, Karen, I'll give it to you anyway.
Thank you. Yeah. Double stuffed baked potato.
Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was that joke sound like you a real chive turkey. All right, that one didn't deserve it either. But yeah,
and you know what? I bet you they had a nurse be like, get it fully loaded. They had nurses be like, go ahead and put some bacon on it.
Put some bacon bits on there, girl. You earned it. This your bonus.
I earned this shit. I'm paying for it. The fuck is this?
Yeah, you need this, girl. Go ahead. I got you.
Child, if that's the case, we might as well have went out to a restaurant and told everybody to pay for their own meal. What the fuck is this?
You helped 73 babies come into the world this month. You can't put chives on it, then nobody put chives on it, okay? Now that's gonna be $7 in tax too, because you count as your bonus, and bonuses get taxed at 75%. So you might as well put some sour cream on it, okay? I'm just saying. Oh my God, hospital potato. That sounds sad just by itself. The saddest version of a potato is somebody being like, would you like a hospital potato? What kind of potato? Scallop potatoes, baked potatoes? No, hospital potato is the worst potato.
And I bet you it would not be shocking. I bet you they didn't go external. They just told the hospital staff to pull out the baked potatoes that they be serving the patients. Like, they didn't even have the courtesy enough to be like, you know what?
They went to the cafeteria or something.
Right. Nah, they didn't go to McAllister's Deli or nothing.
No, I mean the cafeteria. Well, okay. First of all, I don't know. Well, okay,
I'm making this joke.
Right,
yeah.
I'm with you. I'm saying I don't know. I meant cafeteria in the hospital.
That's what I'm talking about. Too.
Yeah. I'm on. Me and you on the same page.
Say, you didn't even leave sight.
Yeah.
Like, but then you want to fucking charge me?
Right.
For some shit I can walk down here and get every day?
But even if they would have went to McAllister Deli or whatever the fuck, nigga, potato for, I don't give a fuck if it's the potatoes from like, we got these potatoes in the Hamptons. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did they make y'all tip?
They probably did. I bet you when your check get cut, you're gonna take out a 2.something% for the tip.
Yep. Oh, like potatoes is what you make when you don't really got no money, what you need to get full. Like that's, I baked a potato or two in my time, and it was, I get it. But man, don't tell nobody it's their bonus. Potato party.
I'm surprised it wasn't a fucking riot. Or either,
yeah.
I guarantee you, within the next 3 months, most of the staff's gonna be done left. Like, a lot of people are gonna be the people immediately start looking for jobs.
Of course, yeah.
They gonna start quitting. Your turnover rate's gonna go through the roof, and management's gonna be fucking confused. That be the thing. Why y'all got them confused? Y'all can't treat people like shit. They be like, why don't you stay?
Right. Greg said they made him eat one on their 2 15-minute break.
Oh
right.
no!
Well, guys, I think I hear a cold blue beeping. Let's get back to work. Finish that potato off in a second.
That came in shift. They was like, everybody can't come at the same time. Somebody got to be on the floor.
A man has been charged with theft after allegedly stealing more than $23,000 in cash from 3 fellow passengers while on a budget flight from Vietnam to Singapore. The man was named in court charge sheets as Zhang Ziquang, 52-year-old Chinese national who had been on board a flight operated by Scoot, the budget wing of Singapore Airlines. So Scoot, like their Spirit Air or something.
Must be.
An airline spokesperson told CNN they were aware of the incident. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we on the plane, bitch. You ain't going, but so far.
How did you do this? Did you know they had the money? He stole from three separate passengers. He took 3 million Vietnamese dong, which is $123 from a passenger's backpack. Then 510 million Vietnamese dong, which is $20,950, and then $38 from a black messenger bag. He allegedly took $1,000 and 930 Singapore dollars, which is $700, from an envelope found in a gray bag belonging to a third passenger. So he was just going through all the bags.
Mm-hmm. Because that flight is so long, I guarantee you, he probably went while passengers was sleeping or some shit. And I guarantee you, people was like, "Where's my shit? Like, what's happening?" And somebody probably saw him or some shit like that. I'm surprised they didn't whoop his ass on that goddamn plane. I mean, bitch, we on the plane. Where's you going?
The dude with the $20,000 got to be the one that, like, I know he don't want them problems, because if you rolling with $20,000 in cash, you probably doing something. I don't know what he did to have $20,000 just in walking money, and that's $20,000 like the U.S. That would be the U.S. equivalent of $21,000 is what he had. But now you got questions because you gotta get your money back, and I know the police like, yeah, we know why the dude had $123. We know why the other dude had $38. We even know the $700 between the other. Why the fuck do you have $21,000 in cash on you? And yeah, I know it's my right. You know that's not. We want to know now. Now we have questions we wouldn't have had. That's so inconvenient. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I was like, are they coming from like Vegas? How do you know
that people have this much money? Yeah, it's more to them. I don't know if they knew they were gambling, a strip club. Like it was a targeted thing. And to go back to what we talked about employees, somebody in chat said they know a company that stopped giving bonuses, and the secretary left and took $20 million in business with her.
Damn.
Because also what companies fail to realize, you as an employee, you build relationships, particularly if you're somebody that have contact with people and shit like this, and people like to work with you. You're easy to get along. You're very dependable and shit like this, particularly if you're dealing with accounts with money. Because the thing about companies, you're either making the money or saving the money. And so your skills are very valuable. So, you know, when you went to another company, you probably told them, hey, bring your accounts over here. And they did.
Gen Zers are flocking to these 10 U.S. cities. They're not following millennials.
That's the younger generation.
So Gen Z is 18 to 24 year olds.
Okay.
And Gen, what did it say? Yeah, Gen Zers are younger than millennials. So millennials will be from 25 to 44.
Okay.
Here's my thing. So they were saying like basically this younger generation isn't going to the same cities as their parents, basically, or the older generation.
I can see that.
I just think it's like I'm reading the article. It's Ann Arbor, Provo, Utah, Boulder, Colorado, College Station, Texas, Athens, Georgia, Tallahassee, Florida, Berkeley, California, Gainesville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Syracuse, New York. College towns.
Yep.
They wrote all this shit, and I was like, this seemed pretty simple. Like, they're going to college towns where even if you don't go to college, it's cheaper to live in a college town than these other motherfucking places.
Yeah, because they'll keep it cheaper for the students.
People that's 25 to 44 got a little more income. They got families. Even if they got debt and shit, they have a little more flexibility with how much they can afford compared to these kids. So, yeah, they would not be interested in going to the same city. So, yeah, anyway, it was like one of those articles with the headline, and I think this is on purpose. The headline pits two generations against each other.
Right.
But they're not following the others. Like, because they're different ages. If you wait 10 more years, they'll probably be moving to the family towns and shit and the bigger cities because they can't afford it right now. 18 to 24 is not that old. And they definitely ain't got no money.
No, they do not.
Scientists develop a vaccine to lower cholesterol. It's supposed to be cheap, less than $100 a dose. You'll take it once a year if the clinical trials and all that stuff, if it clears all that. Right now they've tested it on mice and monkeys.
Let's go.
And high cholesterol affects 2 in 5 American adults, nearly 100 million.
It affects a lot
And
of people.
and it's linked to like $18 million deaths a year.
Woo!
Yeah. So we'll see if this comes of anything,
Mm-hmm.
or anything comes of this. But I just thought that was an interesting story.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting, even once everything get in there. I know you're talking about cheap now, but when you start throwing insurance companies and shit in there, they love to jack them prices up. So ain't no telling what's happening with that.
It's not being made in America, so that should tell you a lot.
Right.
In election news, matter of fact, let me play a beat so we can slide on over to the election section. Here we go. All right, in election news, the Colorado Supreme Court has disqualified Donald Trump from the GOP ballot, saying this nigga tried to overthrow the government.
Right.
And we are citing the part of the Constitution that says you can't just overthrow the government and fucking be president.
To run shit.
The court did split 4-3, so this is very close. The majority opinion was unsigned. People do think this will go to the Supreme Court.
Who knows what's going to happen with that?
I guess my guess is they'll strike it down. I don't think the Supreme Court will uphold the rule of law because this Supreme Court has shown themselves to not be constitutionalist or originalist. They are power is its own justification people. And so my belief is that they will say, listen, as long as we got the power, we're going to do it. And they will have the power on this by having a majority on the Supreme Court. But still, this is one of those things where I've been wondering when people were going to do this, wondering if any state was going to try this. It's right there in the Constitution because after the Civil War and shit, you know, they was like, whoa, what the fuck? We can't just let this happen again.
Right.
And so that was back at a time where people actually had standards. You could get conservatives and liberal people to agree on shit. And one of those tent poles was trying to overthrow the goddamn government is bad. And you can't just do that and keep acting like nothing happened. So we will see if anything further happens. And if you say, the thing for me is, if you try to make this into this is the out of control court system doing stuff. Well, Congress and the Senate had a chance to impeach this man twice.
Yes, they did.
You refused to do your fucking job, Republicans.
Right.
You refused. So since you refused to do your job, you left it up to the courts. And y'all are so states' rights. Let's see if y'all have the states' rights for this shit when they're like, not in our state. We not doing that shit. I doubt it. But yeah, in the case that brought by Good Government Nonprofit Crew, CREW is the name of the group. It's all caps. They have now made a landmark first ever ruling in the country's history, disqualifying a candidate from the presidency for having violated the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. The ruling ratifies the lower court finding that Trump engaged in insurrection on January 6th under a measure used to keep Confederate officials away from power. A Trump spokesman said in a statement that his campaign would immediately appeal the ruling to the Supreme Court. Yep, and I wouldn't be shocked if he won. But I will say this. I'm not ruling out that he could lose, though. I won't rule it out. Only because in the past, this particular Supreme Court has shown some ability or want to distance themselves from the singularity of Trump. They have made some rulings that he lost, even when he was president. That was clearly them going, we're not going to allow you to dictate to us. We do want the power of being Republicans, but we already got these jobs. You can't take them back.
Can't take them back.
And we don't owe you shit. So we'll do things that we think are good for conservative values and shit we believe in. But just you specifically coming up here and demanding that we help you out. No, keep in mind, Trump brought all of his the election was stolen shit to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And just kept getting shot down. The Supreme Court was like, no, we're not participating in this insurrection. So I won't rule it out 100% because I think there's a slight chance that they go, yeah, you were insurrecting and we don't want to have no parts of that. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And it's going to be interesting. This is not the first state and it won't be the last state. There are going to be
New York wants to do it.
There are going to be other states that are like, no, you literally have disqualified yourself. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Follow the rules like everybody else and it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, New York wants to do it. They're looking at doing it next. But once again, if the Supreme Court rules against it, probably everybody's getting shot down. But
Right.
Of course, his competitors for the for president, for the nomination of Republican president, they actually have his back.
Of course they do.
They have his back. Even people like Chris Christie and stuff like that, saying it's probably premature because Trump hasn't been tried for inciting insurrection. I do not believe Donald Trump should be prevented from being president of the United States by any court. I think he should be prevented from being president of the United States by the voters of this country. Okay. Here's my other question. If we're just saying, fuck it, fuck the 14th Amendment, the people will choose who should and shouldn't be president based on their own version of qualifications. Then why do we have any qualifications to be president?
Right.
Why is age part of it? Why is citizenry part of it? Why not just be like, you should be able to run for president? I don't give a fuck if you're a toddler. Fuck it. Since we just saying shit, because you're saying like, well, the people will vote the right way. No, the fuck they won't.
Right. They will not.
They do not. They will not. They have not ever. It is always a fight. It's always damn near 50-50. You cannot trust the people have never really put a true referendum on a candidate and said, absolutely the fuck not. Once they made it out the primary, it's fucking a crapshoot.
It is.
So don't even try that shit. Like, we call stuff landslide because of the electoral college,
right?
But not really because of the fucking like number of voters.
Mm-mm.
We've had motherfuckers win. Every Republican that has won since like after Reagan, maybe everyone's like lost the general, like lost the general amount of voters, like the total.
But they won.
They won the electoral votes.
College, right?
So like this shit, whatever it's like, listen, the voters will do it. Of course, you want us to believe that bullshit because you know they won't. Anyway, but yeah, they rallying around Trump. And Trump is starting to make bigger and bigger claims of like what he's gonna do when he gets in office.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think at one point he even said he's gonna have a one-day dictatorship. He said migrants are poisoning the blood of the U.S. He quoted Vladimir Putin about the rottenness of American democracy. Whipping up thousands of supporters at a New Hampshire hockey rink on Saturday, the former president again drew comparison to the language of Nazi Germany with comments about migrants from mostly Africa, Asia, and South America poison the blood of the country. The language pairs Adolf Hitler, President Joe Biden's re-election campaign alleged. Experts pointed to passages in Hitler's manifesto Mein Kampf in which the future dictator called for racial purity and said German blood was being poisoned by Jews. Honestly, man, I know this is a thing that you're never supposed to say, but shit like this really makes you be like, how the fuck am I alive to witness this?
Right.
Because it's like, I guess it really was that fucking simple back in the day, because it's happening now. Everyone got so much more access to information and technology, and it's happening in our face. A guy's basically talking about racial purity and calling immigrants shit, calling his political rivals vermin and shit like that. And yet there isn't a mass rejection of this guy of just like absolutely no chance. Get the fuck away from us. He won't even do the debates with the other candidates. And he's winning over all of them.
Yeah, because if him actually doing that would actually be a L, like, you know, it would actually take away. That's why he's not doing it. It's not worth it.
People are more worried about like Joe Biden not being perfect than they are this nigga coming to power again, doing everything that they say Joe Biden's not doing enough of. This guy will do the opposite and they know it, and they don't feel scared.
Child, don't get me started.
And I saw somebody saying on Twitter, like, I don't believe in saying like fear will get people to vote. I do. It's the only thing I've seen work. Really.
Yeah,
and I mean that for Obama too, by the way.
Not probably funny. Ask them white women that was voted for the abortion. They didn't vote. They voted because they were goddamn scared.
I will even say that for Obama. When Obama won in 2008, everyone was scared because people just forget the economy was tanking.
Yes, it was.
John McCain said some shit about how he wouldn't have bailed out the like auto people, and it was a wrap. Everybody was like, "Oh, what the fuck? Not? Do you understand what's happening out here?" Like the Obama's out there like, look, cars for cash. We're gonna get America back on its feet. And everybody's like, okay, this nigga's talking insane. Let's go ahead and get the motherfucking. We gotta get the goddamn stock market back right.
Right.
People forget about that part. It's always just everyone flowery tells this narrative of like, it was the hope and change, and I believed in him. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry to call you a dummy, you fucking dummy, but that's a dumb reason to vote for anybody. Period. Because they had a fucking good poster is a dumb reason.
Right.
Listen to the words that come out of their mouths.
Right.
And the thing for him that separated him in the general, because in the primary it was really he didn't vote for to go to like Afghanistan or some shit. But in the fucking general, dog, John McCain was out here like, we'll tough it out, and everybody in America's like, we not trying to tough out the economy, bitch. Figure it out.
People was like, I'm losing my job. Like they taking shit out of America. What are you going to do, sir?
Motherfuckers were scared, and I'm telling you, it is weird that people are acting like they not scared of this shit. And I'm like, damn, is this how Hitler did it? Is this how it happened? Like motherfuckers just weren't scared. They were like, yeah, he ain't gonna. I mean, it's not us. He planning on killing and shit. I don't know what he gonna do. I mean, he hate them, but who? I mean, shit. Who? It's not me. You know, is that it? And then you just look up, and next thing you know, you're in the middle of fucking war or some shit, or you're killing. It's a genocide, and you're like, all right, well, I guess it's cool.
Yep, because everybody thinks that they're an exception to the rule until they're not. And it's also one of those things too, where particularly in America, it's me and mine and nobody else.
And the only conservative people you speak talking up about them are people that's ousted.
Yes.
It's Liz Cheney. It's Paul Ryan. McCarthy's leaving. Like it's all people that are out of power. Like this is
out of power.
This is a story that is writing itself in front of us, and people just seem okay with this shit. Mm-hmm. Well, no, we just got jokes about can Joe Biden remember something or corn pop or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I like I said, I view this very differently than I think I'm the outlier. I don't give a fuck about Joe Biden's age. I just don't. I don't care. Anybody but Trump. And you can feel how you want to feel about that. But I'm like anybody but
It's
him.
just like, I'll just leave it at that. Because I'm not trying to like yell at people that just to me don't get it.
Right.
But I just can't imagine either how disconnected they are, or just like what level of privilege they think, or just how much they really think that there's some guardrails to the world, and like this guy won't fuck them up. Like I just don't get it.
Yeah, because he don't care about
really
the
don't
rules.
get how this guy isn't scary to you and worse in every fucking way.
Every single goddamn
and like it don't
way.
seem like it's gonna take care of itself. There's a reason that people are hoping that the states take them off the ballot, because you cannot trust your fellow American. The other people that vote in this country will vote. They will go out and vote for him.
Yeah, they're not gonna have no apathy.
They're not like you.
Yeah, they're not gonna cry and whine. They're not gonna sit at home.
They will be in charge. They did this shit for like 40 years, 60 maybe, to get
50,
Roe v. Wade overturned. They don't care.
No, they don't care.
They're not sitting around him in their home. They don't care about and you know why I said I laughed at the person I laughed to myself when I read that they were like, here's proof you can't get people to vote from fear. And I said, so then explain Republicans.
Yep, their whole voting, everything they vote for is fear. Guns, fear.
Explain
immigration,
explain Republicans, please.
Crime, fear.
They're winning in a lot of these places. How are they winning? Because I ain't seen the hope and change that they be talking about. I haven't seen the rousing. If Donald Trump gets up and gives a speech, it's nothing but fear. And you about to let him win because you ain't scared. Okay, you waiting to be inspired and your ass is fitting to be fried.
Yeah, and also, like I say, sometimes I think just the general populace, and particularly online, tries to gaslight you and make you think you're crazy. Because I remember Trump being in office, y'all. Like, I remember it. I don't know why people have such a short-term memory that they don't remember all the shit he did and how fucked up it was and how everybody woke
He's
up
saying
fucking
he's
scared
gonna do
every
worse
day.
stuff.
Yes.
He's saying he's gonna do worse stuff.
And I believe him.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy to be living through this, and motherfuckers really feel like it'll be all good one way or another, or it's worth it. We see if we get him in there next time, we'll get super fucking liberal. I'm like, that doesn't seem to have ever worked in American history, but okay.
It don't seem to work.
January 6th rioter who used sovereign citizen gobbledygook at trial is found guilty.
Good, go to jail.
They still getting them. Shout out to Merrick Garland.
And keep getting them.
Yeah, y'all forgot. Y'all ain't even mad no more. Y'all done moved on. He has not. He is still locking these motherfuckers up.
Go get him, white man.
Yeah, everything y'all told me about this man has been a lie.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. But once again, I don't be on the internet liberal circle jerk fighting every day to call this man a piece of shit, pussy, and all the stuff they be saying.
Keep your foot on it.
He seemed to be doing the job to me. You know, everybody, he didn't get Trump fast enough. I don't know. It seemed like it took him and Georgia and New York the same amount of fucking time. And you know that he has to be more careful than them because being appointed by Biden immediately puts him in this weird ass, like, is this a political target? So he has to have at least the look, the appearance of objectivity that some of these places don't have to worry about. Like in Atlanta, you ain't got to worry about that.
Right.
But unfortunately, he does have to worry about that. And that's why you hear Biden be like, I don't have anything to do with the Department of Justice investigation into Trump. I'm not even talking about that. And Merrick Garland has to appoint Jack Smith. But I think they've done a bang up job in that area. I think people, once again, go by feelings, not facts.
Right.
If he was supposed to do it so much faster, why the fuck it took the states so long?
Come on.
Why did it take them so long? If it's so open and shut, just go do it. We're doing something that's never been done before.
Yeah, it's going to take time.
It takes a while. Anyway, what they're doing is the point. You told me, you moved the goalpost from they would never do it to it didn't get done fast enough. To now this nigga got 90-some indictments going into this primary season on trial everywhere. Like, I don't know, man. It's a little frustrating. Proud Boys trusted lieutenant sentenced after cooperating with federal officials in January 6th case. That's right, another one. This dude, I think, is from North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Wouldn't be surprised.
He was sentenced to 40 months, and he cooperated.
That's why he got 40 bucks.
Yeah, and that's still, 3 years and 4 months or some shit? Like, that's still
a good
trip. That's a good trip not being home.
It put it with that, they gonna throw the book at you. He's like, I'll take them 4 years.
Charles Donahoe is his name.
What a name.
And he's no longer affiliated with the Proud Boys. That's what happens when you start snitching. He's been held in federal.
Of course he not. He probably scared.
He's been held in federal prison since his arrest in March 2021. So the sentence is nearly the equivalent of time served. So basically, he been in there snitching since March 2021. He didn't ask to go home because he knew this would count towards whatever plea deal he struck.
I'd have stayed my ass in there too.
So he'll be leaving pretty soon. But that's after serving that, 3.5 years, 3 years and 4 months. But yeah, shout out to them snitching on each other. We love to see it. It's awesome.
It is.
And let me see, is that fugitive suspect in January 6th attack on Capitol surrenders to police in New Jersey. Once again, they still on their ass. Feels good. It honestly feels good to see, because I still remember how I felt watching January 6th live on TV, on the phone, talking to Bomani and being like, what the fuck are we watching? And I remember after that, after they didn't choose to impeach Trump, after Republicans, coward, they were so angry the day of, and they gave all that fucking speech, and I said, yeah, but when it's time to impeach, when it's time to do something, what y'all gonna do? And they all nutted up. They didn't do shit. And I said, man, they gonna let these motherfuckers get away with it. But I, my faith at the time, I said, you know what though? I really don't think Merrick Garland is gonna let these motherfuckers get away with this.
I could tell, like I said, I think a lot of people underestimated him being such a soft-spoken person. But I was really listening to the words that was coming out of his mouth when he first was introduced to the public. I was like, oh, he gonna go get him. Like that's all I kept saying.
I did a little research. I listened to some podcasts about his past fighting against white nationalists, and I said, oh, okay, yeah, I feel like he's the guy for the job, and I think he has done a bang up job. But it's just, I still feel this way. That's why I still be saving these articles, because other people done moved on, and I ain't moved on from this shit. Like what y'all did was unconscionable, and you should all go to jail. Give a fuck if you just stepped a couple feet in there. There should be a penalty for that. Y'all just weren't successful at it. You attempted to overthrow the fucking government.
Weren't successful.
You just weren't organized enough.
Too many of y'all were trying to do it for the gram.
Yeah, but another guy surrendered. This is Gregory Yetman, 47. He surrendered in Monroe Township on Friday morning without incident. This is Monroe, New Jersey. The details of surrender were not immediately available. He's charged with assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers, obstruction of law enforcement during civil disorder, entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds, engaging in physical violence in a restricted building or grounds, and committing an act of physical violence in the Capitol grounds or building. So who knows if they got him on tape or if they just someone told it through the grapevine. But we love to see it.
Yeah, GPS system on like that, like they was basically doing a digital diary of themselves.
A January 6th rider who smashed a window and received a signed Trump hat is sentenced to more than 4 years. Yep, Rachel Powell, a woman. She was wearing a pink pussy hat. No joke. What? Ma'am, you know which ride? Right, you know which ride you showed up to?
Right.
But she was wearing a pink hat though. But yeah, she's a woman in her early 40s, mother of 8, grandmother of 6. She was convicted on 9 federal counts.
Woo, guess you won't be seeing her for a hot minute.
She said, I'm deeply ashamed of my conduct. I regret it, and it will never happen again. The judge said, you goddamn right.
You're goddamn right. How about you gonna learn today?
57 of them months, ma'am. Good night. But yeah. In the immediate aftermath of January 6th, she said it was fucking war to get in. The rioters weren't fucking welcomed in, and that the police had to retreat into the building and fight back because patriots were relentless. But she has changed her tune since then, prosecutors noted, and has painted a picture of police brutality.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them changed their tune once they realized there were consequences to them actions.
She was on home detention because she violated her pretrial conditions of release. She said at her sentencing Tuesday she feels remorse and regret every day. She said that politics had taken a very dark turn in the country, and that she gave into the toxic environment. I succumbed to those feelings, and it led to disaster.
I believe that. White supremacy, yes.
Yeah, and the judge said, hey, you said all the right things today, but you should have said them sooner. Go to jail.
Come on.
So yeah. I'm into this. This is my porn. Okay, this should have made Pornhub top 10 list.
This should have been top 10.
Because I'm with it. I'm aroused. All right, let's get out of this and move into something else. Let's do a little bit of maybe do some fucking with black people.
Okay.
Pull out my fucking with black people. Oh.
Hey, we're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them black people. We're just fucking with them blacks. We're just fucking with black people. Hey, hey.
A Florida school is slammed for forcing a 2-year-old black girl to take part in a Rosa Parks reenactment that involved a white toddler handcuffing her and taking her fingerprints. The civil rights group, the NAACP, shared shocking photographs of the incident online, as it is called on the Florida Department of Children and Families to investigate the Building Brains daycare in St. Cloud, Osceola County. In a letter to the department, the NAACP said that the black pupil was subject to an alarming act of simulation where she was handcuffed and fingerprinted by a white peer in early December. Must be some of that critical race theory I heard so much about. Maybe when you can't teach them from the books, it's like, well, got to come up with something. It's not even Black History Month. You just handcuffing black babies. Now, how's a 2-year-old gonna learn from this? I don't know. I feel like you should have just told him.
We're just gonna traumatize them.
The NAACP's National Director of Education, Dr. Ivory Tolson, shared the photographs on Facebook with the pupils' faces blurred. Unedited versions of the images can be seen on the dailymail.com because they don't care about them children.
Apparently not.
But in the unedited version, the children appear to be visibly disturbed and upset.
Right, because you probably they play together. That this is the age they don't know anything about separation and segregation and any of that bullshit. They're like, "What are you asking me to do to my friend? It's like it hurts."
The female teacher involved has not been named and continues to work at the daycare. What's she doing tomorrow? Beating somebody till they change their name to Toby? What's the next? What's tomorrow's lesson? All right, go and get the water hose, guys. It's got a new one.
All right, let's get the dolls. We're going to cross the bridges.
Building Brains Daycare said the reenactment was a spontaneous incident rather than a part of the planned curriculum. Oh, I know. I don't know why y'all get to our history and be like, we don't need to plan this one. I'm going to wing it.
Right.
Bitch, open up the goddamn lesson planner and read the fucking print. We don't need no freestyles. This ain't no, my captain bullshit. This is some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Y'all don't do this for other shit.
Is slavery like a free space? Are y'all doing this with the Holocaust? Are y'all doing this with Native American genocide? Are y'all like, what else are y'all doing this with?
Are y'all pulling out the Star of David and poking fun? Like, what are y'all doing?
The kids can understand if you just tell them. It's okay, everybody. Throwing a movie. What happened to throwing on a movie? Honestly, bring back Eyes on the Prize. What the fuck?
Right? Bring that shit
I'd rather
back.
y'all roll in that motherfucking raggedy ass TV and throw on some Eyes on the Prize and put a little baby in handcuffs. Try to teach them about Rosa Parks. So the next image was her hands placed on a table as she was being booked, and the look on her face alone is horrific. So I can't see the faces, but I'll take the parents' words for it.
Mm-hmm.
They said the NAACP said the incident was egregious, whether physical restraints were used or not. It's just all right. 0 to 100.
Oh, this is a Jacaris, and this is one reason why I'm glad I don't have kids, because I think I would lose it. And I'll joke aside, right. I think I would goddamn lose it and demand that bitch be fired. They would get tired of me. I would be the one person in there every day going, if she's still here, I'm gonna be here tomorrow. Why are you still working here? You should not be allowed to be around children. Would you do this if this was an all white class? No, the fuck. Get out my face.
Now I'm crazy because I'm ready to fucking punch you in your face.
I'm
in the news because I'm like, you're not gonna do this to my baby. It's definitely just it's real fucked up. I give it Jacaris as well, and the statement from the daycare basically downplays it.
Right, yada 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 yada. My ass, fucking lawsuit. The fuck is this?
In the spirit of the moment, the class spontaneously decided to act out elements of the class decided, or the teacher decided.
They're 2 and 3. The teacher, that's the person that makes the decision that has the lesson plans.
That's why y'all took the pictures. No one else was in that classroom to take those pictures. These aren't surveillance pictures. Someone thought this was cute and a good lesson, so they took pictures of it. Unfortunately, the photographs shared at the activity do not offer a complete, accurate representation of the full lesson
Don't care
about the importance of equal rights.
Don't care. Yeah, I would probably see red. What the fuck are we talking about here?
But what the fuck could the pictures be showing then?
Right.
What else? What do you think we don't understand about when we saw those pictures? What context are we missing? We're like, oh, okay. If you look at it like that, I know what you were trying to do. I'm not saying you were wake up and say, I want to be racist. I want to make the black kid feel bad. I'm not that simple. I know you thought you were doing a good thing. You didn't. And I'm tired of the stories like this over and over and over again.
I'm like you.
Where somebody thinks they're helping when they're just making shit worse, especially when you could just use your words.
Yes, stick to the lesson. I'm like Roger. Stick to I guarantee you there was a goddamn lesson plan and you felt like doing something outside of the goddamn box.
You were teaching them about Rosa Parks. Just teach them about Rosa Parks.
Just talk about it.
It's not anyway. Let's see what else. Married to Medicine star Dr. Jackie was slammed for saying black women cry wolf about pregnancy pains to get out of work. Fans slammed Married to Medicine star Dr. Jackie Walters after a resurfaced video showed her discussing how black women cry wolf about their pregnancy pains. Now, she is black.
Don't matter.
Sometimes, as African Americans, women, we are a bit more dramatic, and that you go to the doctor and you complain and you complain and you complain and you have not taken seriously because you cry wolf the entire pregnancy. She was said this during a YouTube live with castmate Dr. Heavenly. We want to also make sure that you're being serious with your doctor, not playing the games so that could take you off of work. Because then we see you 25 times in the pregnancy. It's hard to believe there's a true problem when there's a true problem. So obviously, in a world where the maternal health disparities between black women and white women in America exist, people did not take this well. Now, this is an old video, so this could be just some rage farming where people went and found some old shit to be like, let's get mad about it today. But I guess it worked because people was mad. Yeah, fans did not hold back about their dismay. Dr. Jackie has never carried a child, so who the fuck is she to say black women can be dramatic and cry wolf during their pregnancy? Knowing black women are overlooked health-wise. She's been the villain. I can't stand her, said one critic. Dr. Jackie is disgusting as fuck for speaking so negatively on pregnant black women, knowing that black pregnant women suffer and die at the hands of non-black doctors. You spew that same bullshit at an alarmingly high rate. Some fans even call for her to be terminated from the series. So yeah, I think I think that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, you know,
that's what.
This goes back to the point I was trying to make about the Erica Mena shit, which is they put people on these shows to be horrible, and they put horrible people on the shows at this, you know, like it leads to them saying and doing horrible shit. Now, who knows if there's any true accountability? But I also sometimes feel like, yeah, what is the line?
Yeah, it varies.
Because, like, you can say some other horrible shit and people will be like, that was just being funny or cool or catty, or I don't like her, but haha, I can't wait to tune in next week. And then sometimes you say some shit like this and people are like, hey, that's a real thing. That's a real problem people have. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Right.
So I don't know. Anyway, 0 to 100, Karen.
Oh, Chad, we just got a Jakara's week. This gets a Jakara's because, and my thing is, I don't care nothing about you being black. You can still hold white supremacist tendencies. Just you know, you being black, don't erase that.
Yeah, she put up on her Instagram like a screenshot of Deion Sanders. That was just like a general tweet he put up. Don't allow frustration to enter the room. Stay calm, cool, and conscious. Life is just trying, testing, and teasing you to provoke you to do more and to promote you to the next level. Go through what you go through, so you go to what you're destined to go to. Win, and win daily. Let's go, Coach Prime. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, dog. Tell y'all right now. We can't turn Deion Sanders into like Black Confucius. We can't do this. We can't do this. I'm sorry. That's where I draw the line. Okay, I don't mind him coaching.
Me either.
I think how he left was foul, but I've been let that go. I've been let that go. Okay, I'm not engaging in the like daily arguments about his treatment compared to other coaches because I think a lot of people obfuscating Blackness with Coach Prime, and it's not the same. There's other Black coaches in the NCAA that don't have to that been dealing with harder shit than him that aren't assholes about it. Okay,
all right,
but if we gonna start quote tweeting this man like he's some motherfucking like, don't do it. Let's not do this, y'all. Listen, I'm on the line. I'm on the edge. I'm trying to just be like, oh yeah, man, good for Colorado. But if motherfuckers start using him every time somebody get in trouble, we start throwing up his quotes like Republicans throwing up MLK quotes. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it.
We're not doing this.
He's talking about football, man. He's not talking about Black maternal health.
Right. He's talking about football.
Go ahead. Anyway, yeah, it's Dracarys, man. That's terrible. That's what a horrible thing to say, man. And just and this, I don't know. I thought the women were like doctors and shit over there. So like that's what you really thinking? You a doctor? Do you see Black women as your patients? That's
yeah. And if I was, I would no longer be going to you.
Yeah, that is so wild that she was just said that shit. All right. Let's wrap this up. It's almost been an hour and a half, you know. Let's go to some sword ratchetness and we'll get up out of here. Where's my sword? There we go. A samurai sword attacking real estate agent spared more jail time. A real estate agent who attacked a woman with a samurai sword and repeatedly punched another while high on a cocktail of drugs and alcohol.
Not a cocktail of drugs.
Yeah.
Woo!
Like, it's bad when it's bad
They're
enough.
Like, we can't even name them all.
Yeah, it's bad enough to drink cocktails, but to be
right?
on a cocktail of drugs, that's
they
the next
were like,
one.
It was so many drugs, it was shaking, not stirred.
He was on a high of cocktail of drugs and alcohol. Sydney realtor Carl Adden Howard was on Friday sentenced to 27-month intensive corrections order, which he will serve in the community. So he will not go to jail. Judge Anthony Townsend placed strict conditions on Howard, including that he stay off of alcohol and drugs, undergo supervision, and complete a domestic violence program. He must also perform 250 hours of community service. In December 2022, Townsend found Howard not guilty of 2 counts of grievous bodily harm with intent to murder. The 46-year-old earlier pleaded guilty to lesser charges of recklessly causing grievous bodily harm and assault. The 2 women, ages 27 and 29, were at Howard's Annandale home in February 2021 for an informal gathering where they were drinking and watching television. Howard forcibly kissed and choked one woman before punching her in the head 4 times after taking a cocktail of Viagra, cocaine, and Valium.
Damn, he was up and down and to the side, wasn't it? God damn. All of the drugs.
Oh my God. How did Viagra get in it?
Right? Viagra like, now why am I in it?
Right. He struck the other woman with a samurai sword after she attempted to intervene, leaving her with a deep cut to her arm. Defense barrister Matthew Johnson, SC, on Friday urged the judge not to impose more jail time, given Howard had already spent time behind bars in rehabilitation and on strict bail. Howard has continued to improve and engage, but we accept there is more work to be done, he said. Obviously, there's a need for ongoing supervision in relation to drug and alcohol use. The former principal of Ray White Balmain.
What a name.
Is that a school? He was a principal of a school? He has made a reparation payment of $225,000 to one of the victims, Howard was arrested on February 2021 and remained in custody until he was granted bail almost a year later. He also spent 80 days as an inpatient while undergoing treatment for drug and alcohol addiction. Townsend took that period into account as part of the more than a year Howard spent in pre-sentence custody. He also considered the impact of Howard's mental health and prospects of rehabilitation if he were to be returned to prison and lose access to supportive devices. Yeah, he's white.
Of course.
That worked out pretty well for him considering what the fuck he did.
Right.
My God. All right, y'all. That's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back Saturday for feedback. Saturday, Chris. Anyway, we'll be back soon.
I don't. No, that's
Monday, right? Chris is Monday.
Monday, yes, I'm around in there.
Okay, so we'll be back Saturday for feedback. Until then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Peace.